One of the very important and challenging decisions for a data visualization is to select which chart type to be used. Now, if we consider the chart type, there are basically few simple chart types which you will be preferring if you want to show 1, 2, 3 dimension or variable of data. Now we are going to talk about each one of them. When I was a beginner in data visualization, I used to select those charts only which I can work with in programming. Now sometimes I would also see some of the charts similar to my requirement in some website or maybe some article, and I used to select those charts because I have seen them there. But this should not be the case while designing a data visualization. Your chart type for the data visualization should be mostly dependent upon what is your requirement and who is your customer. And there are many other factors which we already discussed, like user experience principles and Gestalt's psychology. But now we are going to see some of the basic chart types and when to use them and what are their advantages and disadvantages. Now the first chart types is bar charts. The bar charts are most preferred and effective and simple way to represent your data. Whenever you are having any requirement for data visualization, you should always ask this question that, can I show this data using a bar chart? When you are presenting some data in the bar chart, your user will have no problem in understanding how to read the data because the bar charts are so common that everyone has experience with the bar chart. There are some variation you can try with the bar chart. The first one is multivariable bar charts. When you want to show categories with your data as well and you want to present in the bar chart, then you can have multiple categories. For example, here we are having 3 different categories which are compared side by side in a single chart. And the categories are blue, green, and red, differentiated from their colors. Now the problem with multivariable bar charts is that if you are having many categories, for example, if we are having 10 or 20 or more than that, then it will be very confusing and it will be almost unreadable for your user to perceive the data. Now the other variation of bar chart is called Stag bar chart. This can be an excellent way to compare within groups. For example, I want to compare between the first bar and the second bar and the corresponding categories of the bar, then I can do it. I can even compare between the same bar and different subcategories. So the same problems lies with the Stag bar chart as well. If there are many categories, then the data becomes unreadable very quickly. When you want to show something over time and your user is interested in looking for trends, then the best chart is going to be your line chart. This line chart you can see here is showing a trends over the time. This is most preferred in showing how over the time my sales figures are doing, my revenue reports is doing, and it's very easy and fast to get those data in our visual perception and get a feeling about the data. Now one of the problem why bar charts should not be preferred while showing trend, because whenever we see a bar chart, we always on our subconscious level read or perceive the area of the bar as its value. For example, if I'm seeing the first bar here and the second last bar, I'm actually in my subconscious mind calculating the visual area and thinking that the first bar is more than twice the size of the second last bar. So this is because we are actually seeing the area in subconscious mind, and while showing the trend, the line doesn't show that. They only show over the time the points which user is interested in. Sometimes there are also requirements from the user that they want to see some of the visuals clues related to time. For example, they need to see some events and they need to also have the events description, pictures. Then in that case, your timeline is the best chart to go with. It's actually having content-based stories with time. The points here, which are represented as red circle, can be also a infographic elements within your charts. It can also be interactive, so if the user clicks on any of the infographic elements, then they can see details about what has happened at that particular time, or more information if you would like to give to your user. The next chart is the area chart. It gives you an idea about the Cartesian product. For example, if x-axis is price and y-axis is my sales, then the area which is covered within the chart will give me actually how much money I made. Now there is one situation where using area chart can be a problem, and that is when you have multiple area charts and they are overlapping each other and you cannot see some of the points clearly. So you can use area chart, but when there is an overlap between the data, then it's very difficult to read, and you are also not able to see some points which are covered by your purple area charts as well. So these are some of the basic chart types which use position and coloring as their primary differentiation factor.